lot of muscles that insert underneath the foot, and one of them is the tibialis anterior, which is typically the cause of shin splints. But that only happens when that muscle starts to get inflamed and peel itself, and it attaches right there underneath the foot. So that is why we're going to be loosening that up, so to speak. So place each of your fingers in between your toes. Now our toes are used to being squished in our shoes, so this can be quite uncomfortable at first, but try to get it like this. Basically hold hands with your fingers. Now you're going to make sure that when you do it, it's comfortable. But just for the sake of the video, for it to be easier for you to see me, I'm going to move my hand. However, give this a try to see if this is more comfortable for you to have your hand basically on the back. That way it might be easier for you to grab your heel to just assist with this circular motions. Now I want you to make huge circles as big as you can with your hand and your ankle. This is going to help alleviate tension that you have in between your metatarsals, as well as your tarsals, and of course in between your toes, in between your phalanges. Great for muscles, ligaments. Now go the other way. Big circles. Think exaggeration. Exaggerate the pattern as much as you can. Now grab the bottom of your heel and you're gonna wring your foot out like wringing out a cloth. So you know when a cloth is soaked with water and you twist it to wring it out, that's exactly what you're gonna be doing with your foot here. The reason why we're doing this is we want to reestablish movement and mobility at the foot so that that muscle, the tibialis, which has attachment under the part of the foot, is able to move freely. And now you're going to point and flex the foot again. Exaggerate this motion as much as you can. The bigger, the better. I know it's painful, so just bear with me, only a few more. This is great work. Now slowly, one at a time, release your fingers. Kind of wiggle your toes around, massage them a little bit if you need to. Now stand up and feel the difference from one foot to the other. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing here, but just really grab an appreciation for the difference. And we're actually going to do both feet because once you have pain on one side, you transfer more weight. Don't mind my dog here. You transfer more weight on one side versus the other to help alleviate pain. So we're just going to help make sure that we're stopping anything that's developing in its tracks and practicing preventative medicine here. So same thing, nice big circles, 10 each way. And other way, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, really exaggerate, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now point and flex right out of the gate here. So stay where you are with the one hand, grab the bottom of the heel with the other, and wring out your foot. The more you do this, the better and better this will feel. Trust me. This is a great exercise for mobilizing all the joints, virtually all the joints anyways, in the foot. And release. Now we're gonna grab a seat on the floor or chair and grab a water bottle, preferably one you just took out of the freezer from freezing water, and we're gonna rub this along the tibialis anterior muscle. So basically, where you feel those shin splints, make sure to gently roll up and down that muscle. Now, if you're sitting in a chair, you can put your leg up on a stool in front of you so that you don't have to sit on the floor. Really make sure you're getting up and down the whole length of the muscle. Remember that that muscle attaches into the bottom of your foot as well. So now that we worked on the bottom of the foot, we're going to also work the belly part of the muscle. And I switched sides here already, so I hope you caught that. Make sure you go along the sides and the front. Want to be careful that you don't glide up and down the bone. It might be a little sore or tender there. Good. Now we're going to keep a straight back, and we're going to try our best to point and force our toes to point. This is going to help stretch the fascial and the tendons of the extensors of the foot, which is going to help to stretch out that tibialis anterior as well through that fascial stretch here. We're going to go in other ways of stretching it after, but for now we're going to do this. And you've noticed I put my fist underneath my other knee, and that was just to keep it bent slightly, but you can also just put that water bottle underneath the knee or a pillow if having nothing underneath there is too much of a stretch. The most important thing is once you're good with that, if you are good, add in this motion I'm doing here. So you're basically rocking your toes in and then out and in and out. This is to help stretch the muscles on the outside as well as the inside. Now let's switch sides. Same exact thing. Reach forward, really curve those toes. Again, you can put that fist under that knee or a water bottle or a pillow. But the most important thing is making sure those toes are curled as much as you can. Because of the nature of the muscle, it does flexion and an inward rotation of the foot. So that is why we're also pointing and then adding in this inward and outward motion as well. That's to get the last bit of end range of motion of the muscle. And slowly come back up. Shake things out if you need to. Now, if you can, go on your knees here and curl your toes right underneath your hips and sit on them. This is going to further stretch right underneath the foot, because we want to make sure we're stretching out that fascia. But if this is too much, you can lean forward to take a little bit of pressure off, like I'm showing you here now. But if you can, ideally, you'll be sitting straight up on your heels with your toes curled right underneath yourself. Breathe through this. Ultimate goal in an ideal world is you're able to hold this position for 2 minutes. But start slow. Maybe 15 seconds is all you can do before you need to recover out of this position, or 30 seconds or a minute, whatever the case may be. Wherever you start your journey, and you're aiming for progress, not for perfection. Now slowly uncurl your toes, sit back, and if you can, this can put a lot of pressure on the knee, so do this only if you can. You're going to lean back to help again stretch now the top of those feet to help stretch out the other part of the tibialis anterior. Grab that water bottle again or foam roller and place it right where you feel those shin splints. Now you're going to put a little bit of weight on it and flex and point your toe twice before you move an inch down towards your ankle. Again, move up, flex, point, flex, point, move up. Only an inch, flex, point, flex, point. You want to get every square inch of that muscle. So this is known as a little bit of an active release type of technique that you're allowing yourself to do. Really make sure you're stabilized here. Walk your back knee up a little bit more if you're not as flexible and this is painful for you. But ultimately, you're not going to cross over a 7 out of 10 pain with any of these stretches or exercises. Now the other side, point and flex, walk up a little bit, point and flex, slide up an inch, point and flex, slide up, point and flex. Essentially, we're just inching down towards your ankle until we get to your ankle. So at this point, you may need to walk your back knee up a little bit. Because if you can't do these movements, don't worry about it. I was a dancer and a gymnast, so don't feel bad if your flexibility isn't that great yet. And sit on the tops of your feet rather, and lean back. Again, only do this if you don't have knee problems. So sit upright again in that figure 4 position. Make sure your back is nice and straight. Glide down as best you can. Support yourself straight back. Curl the toes as much as you can comfortably. So the intensity of the stretch you want to feel is basically the intensity that you would be comfortable holding for 5 minutes if you had to. That's the goal of the stretch. Eventually, the stretch, you'll feel less and less, and that's when you add even more and more of a curl in your toe. Now, you should actually notice a difference from this one to the last one because you're now more flexible. Your tissues are more warmed up. And if not, again, you are going at your own pace. You're in your own home, in your own house, and you are able to pause the video whenever you need to, rewatch parts that you maybe had questions of. And again, just make sure gliding back and forth with those feet. And switch sides. Try to keep that back nice and straight. Curl the toes. Make sure to breathe here. Do not hold your breath. The intensity of the stretch, just be comfortable enough that you'd be able to hold it for 5 minutes, but still uncomfortable the same. And move your toes in and out, just like we did in the last side. Back and forth, back and forth. Good, and walk yourself up. Now we're going to go press up onto our toes and go into this downward dog position and just bend our knees and go back up. So we're going to do this back and forth to now stretch the back parts of the leg, because calf flexibility and hamstring flexibility has also a lot to do with the tibialis anterior, just merely due to the positioning of the foot. So bend your knees slightly. So try to keep your back as straight as you can. Bend your knees slightly to take a little bit of pressure off. Now switch side to side. Straight one knee, bend the other, and switch legs. Bend and straight. Switch sides, bend and straight. Just do your best here. And now rise up and down on your ankles. Really make sure to keep the back nice and straight. Control rising up, control lowering down. A couple more. Good. Onto your knees. finish off stretching underneath the feet. If you're really feeling motivated, you can actually hold this stretch for an additional 2 minutes. So good luck if you are. As always, I want to thank you so much for watching my video, doing my video, and I know that every time you do it, it will get better and better. Please subscribe to my channel if you like this video, and you'll be notified of any new videos that I release in the future. If this is things that you are interested in, you'll definitely want to subscribe. If you know anyone in your life who would benefit from this just as you have, please share this video with them and leave any comments in the comment sections if you have any suggestions of videos that you want to see me make in the future. Thanks for all your support.